If your tank water heater's over 8 years old, you may be sitting on a ticking time bomb. It could start leaking without warning, causing far more damage than the loss of the heater itself. Consider replacing it with a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to leak, endless hot water for spa-like comfort, longer life, and backed by Navien's strong warranty. Before time runs out, visit tanklessmadesimple.com for the name of your Navien contractor.
Count on Navien.
For the last 75 seasons, the NBA has been getting greater. It's been crossing over, crossing borders, bending minds, breaking barriers, and shattering expectations. Because if the league's taught us one thing, it's that we can't predict anything. So don't miss 1 minute of the 75th anniversary season, where greatness lives on in every game. Visit NBA.com/75 to learn more.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Daniel Radcliffe, otherwise known as Harry, the boy who lived.
He's known as the guy with the horse and the dong.
No, that's how you know him by, because you're just focusing on the wrong things in life.
My bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend the Harry Potheads out there.
Yeah. He's always going to be Harry. You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I don't even watch the movies, and that's all I know about it.
No, but Steve only knows the dong one.
Well, which episode of Harry Potter was that? Where he was riding a horse with his dong hanging out?
Yeah, that was,
the Sorcerer's Bone?
Here's the thing.
There it is.
Okay.
Danny's seen them all, right? Is that,
yeah.
Is that the fifth one?
That was like the 15th one, I think, yeah.
That was a long way to go for that. Good job. I like the journey you took me on.
We're here for the scenic route on that one.
It's not the destination.
No.
It's the journey, Rev.
Honestly, I didn't even know where the destination was going to end up.
Oh, really?
No. Everything's closed, including my brain.
That was the first to be affected by the coronavirus.
Yes.
And boy, you really, what was that, 15, 20 years ago? Where you
oh, man, I'd go a good 40 years ago. That's when it was shut down.
Steve, here's the thing. There's going to be some trouble in a few 40 years, so we're going to just shut down right now. Conserve all power. Daniel Radcliffe, I was telling you about him, right? The Sorcerer's Bone. Yeah, Harry. He says that playing Harry contributed to his drinking too much in those years. Now, he started when he was like, maybe 7 or 8 or whatever? I don't know, but he was like...
I think he was 11 when it all started.
Was he 11? Okay, because they always play the kid. He seemed younger to me, but that makes sense if he was 11 still. So at 11 years old, he started doing Harry Potter, and he's saying playing that role contributed to his drinking too much. And here's Harry talking about it.
I suppose those are the moments when I first started being like, oh, that doesn't feel good. I don't like how I'm being looked at in this particular context. And then the way of dealing with that is just to drink more or get more drunk. So I did a lot of that for sort of a few years.
So I don't think he was starting at 11.
Yeah.
I'd hope not.
You know what? I just love Brits. You know what I mean? That was a long way for him to go to just say he liked to get S-face when he was playing Harry Potter. It's like, on my way, the figure, I was saying there's a lot of that, a lot of this. And like, what are you saying?
But do you think it's like almost like it's like a double-edged sword in the sense that this is awesome. I'm the hugest star in the world. I'm Harry freaking Potter. He's like the guy.
The guy.
But then everywhere he goes, there's always going to be people that are going to clown on him for being Harry freaking Potter. So I guess that would drive somebody to drink.
Yeah, he was worried. He said that he turned to alcohol because he wasn't sure what he would do when the Harry Potter franchise would end. When it ended, he's like, I don't know.
That too, yeah.
There are many questions in my life where you can say, is this thing the way it is because it is in you to be that way, or was it because you got famous and were in this like slightly crazy situation? But I definitely think a lot of the drinking that happened towards the end of Potter and sort of for a little bit after it finished, you know, it was panic a little bit and not knowing what to do next.
Panic. How much money did he have at the end of the 8th movie? He had to have skillions.
I don't think his panic was about paying his bills. I mean, Butterbeer's expensive. I've been to Harry Potter Land.
Yeah,
so
Butterbeer's very expensive.
All that drinking, he was broke from it. No, but I would imagine that it's more as a artist, you know, as an actor, he maybe panicked that maybe I'm just typecast as Harry Potter.
That's no doubt about it. That's a thing. You're absolutely right. That is a thing that a lot of actors face. But in this next clip, he brings up the fact about being the breadwinner. And that's what really is like to me, well, not the next clip, but he went on to say, actually, that he said, you know, child stars turn to alcohol because they're afraid, well, I'm the breadwinner of the family and the pressure's on me. But I mean, at some point, somebody had to say, Ari, like, I don't know. You know, I would say probably after Prisoner of Azkaban, the 3rd movie, they probably would have said, Harry, you're set because she's writing a ton of books. You have to be in the movies. There's no way you're not going to be in the movies. And at that point, he was making bank. I mean, I read he's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. So the breadwinner part, I don't get. It's like someone had to sit him down, unless his parents were idiots, and say, don't worry about this because you've made more money over the time that nobody would ever make as much money as you made now in their entire life. You've made as much as probably like 100 families could hope to make.
But in a way, I don't know, would it mess with your head knowing that you're the breadwinner of your family and you're 11? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, you don't get to be a kid.
No, think about it. Gary Coleman? Didn't he like divorce from his parents because they were like just insufferable or something along those lines?
Emancipation sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. I think if I was rich at 11, my parents would probably do the emancipation thing for me. They're like, look, he's making us a lot of money, but he's just a giant pain in the ass. He's walking around like he's the king of the castle.
Oh, and they'd win. They would just take him over to the suit of armor, and they're like, is that a yellow puddle? Yes, our son, please give us emancipation.
Could you imagine that? No, like I was doing that, and I wasn't in charge of the household's finances. Like, if I was the guy that was in charge of all the money in my parents' house, they would hate life.
You would be the only child star where actually your parents lost money because you were in charge of the household.
And everyone would be like, what the hell happened, man? He's Harry Potter. He's making you guys millions. He's like, he's urinating all over our house because he thinks he can.
Yeah,
just buy a new one.
Yeah, he keeps buying a suits of armor made of all of just precious metals, and then he urinates
conveyor belt of suits of armor that just go through. I'm going to pee on this one today.
Oh my God! And he bought a swimming pool not to swim in it. No, he fills it up with suits of armor, then urinates in the swimming pool,
and then just brags that he owns this house.
Yeah, exactly, and he would bring people out back.
That would be a terrible.
That would be epic, though, if you'd say, "Let me show you my swimming pool." Filled with suits of armor that I've urinated in. And I mean, that is the quirky thing a kid would do with skillions of dollars.
That's so nasty.
I just would be a terrible child star. I'm positive of it.
Yeah, I'd like to disagree.
I don't think I would be able to handle it very well.
I think you're absolutely right. But you guys make a good point. I thought he would be worried about not bringing enough money in, but just the idea that he has to be in an adult position at such a young age and then just can't have a regular childhood, that makes sense.
It'd be weird that your parents are relying on you so that their bills are paid.
And it really sucks because, you know, those stage mom, stage pops, we know how they are, at least the stereotype of that. So if you've got Daniel Radcliffe as a kid, and you know he's a super cash cow, man, I just, like, who's feeding him the alcohol is what I want to know. Or do you think that, like,
fans. He shows up to a bar. You're telling me no one wants to have a shot with Harry Potter?
How do you get into a bar when you're 12?
He's Harry Potter. He can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
You can get into pub. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I guess, and look, there are places that you can get alcohol, but it's just the adult only place. But then you go to the regular restaurant. I'm sure somebody's just spiking, his
like he could be just sitting at Applebee's, and someone's like, "Hey, dude, you want a shot? I'll go sneak one over. No, put it in your sippy cup."
You're absolutely right. You're Harry freaking Potter.
Right?
And
chicken wings on me.
I know you lost your Uncle Sirius. You need a drink, Harry. There you go.
Someone says, BJ, are you working from home? There are two personalities at a station in Boston, the WEEI, apparently, that are in your age bracket. They're working from home.
Oh, really?
We need to send you home, BJ. You're at risk.
Yeah, and WEEI is our sports station that we have in Boston. It's our company, actually.
Uh-oh.
And Gosh, I wonder, wow. Now I wonder, are they working at home because they themselves are sick, or are they at risk and don't want to? See, there's that twofold thing when you get to be my age group. You don't know why somebody is quarantining.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Because my parents yesterday were lecturing me on what to do, and I'm like, you are the ones that are most at risk. Stop going places.
And dude, later on, I have a question to throw out there just about humanity in general. I've noticed something. I have noticed something about humans over this past weekend as I did venture out, but did it in a proper social distancing way. And I have noticed a little bit of a trend in my little small sampling that I want to throw out to you folks.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Deep thoughts with BJ Shea.
So we'll talk about that later, and it's all related to the coronavirus. But we got to tell you about Oregon police. We think we got issues here in Washington, but our neighbors down south are dealing with people calling 911. And yes, it is all because of TP, toilet paper. Steve will tell you all about it. He's got the Migs report for you at 6:17.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
I need a change. You've been cold to me too many times. You're wasting money. You're a leaker. So I'm replacing you with a new Navien tankless water heater. No more cold shoulders, no more leaks, just spa-like comfort and Navien peace of mind. And I want you out today.
When you're ready for a change, ask your plumber about Navien or visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
Well informed on the issues of the day? Not this guy. Live from the KISW News Center in downtown Seattle, this is the Migs Report.
Well, thanks, guys, and thanks to Kia Up You for giving us the Migs Report. And it's a few special days. One, if you're into math or pie.
Yes.
Of course, today's... Well, I guess I was on Saturday, so enjoy your pie. Today's the 16th.
What is happening?
I don't know. I just got excited about pie, and I saw that was a special day. But that was Saturday, so I hope you guys enjoyed your pie on Saturday. Today, though, is an important day, and I can remember this because today is March 16th.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's 316.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
That's right. Happy National Stone Cold Steve Austin Day.
I'd rather have it be Pie Day.
Me too.
And that's the bottom line. Go Stone Cold Simpson.
That just kills everything because I was going to talk about favorite pies in every state and see if you guys could guess what the favorite pie in Washington State is.
Well, I will say cherry.
You would be wrong.
Oh, okay, fine.
What about you there, Danny?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. You also would be
wrong.
Oh. Well, he just loves orange and pumpkin.
Right.
That's my
You know he's going to say pumpkin.
Rev? Apple pie.
Wrong.
Come on. What? Cherry and apple are great guesses when you really think about it.
Yeah, because that's what we make.
Right. Yeah. Vicky?
Pecan?
Wrong.
Now, is it pecan or pecan?
Both.
Yes.
You say
on Kids Baking Championships, that challenge
Yeah.
show, there was a big argument about it. If it's pecan or pecan.
Well, if you're fancy, it's pecan. If you're some sort of knuckle-dragging troglodyte, yes, it's pecan.
No, of course, it's gooey duck pie. It's popular here now.
Oh, gooey duck pie is good.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Strawberry rhubarb pie. Really? I've never had it.
I know. The best. It's my favorite.
Then why didn't you guess it?
Why didn't you?
Well, because I didn't think anybody else thought it was their favorite.
Everybody does, apparently.
Yeah, it looks like you are totally in the majority on this one.
Wow.
Well, of course, we've got all the insanity that's going on with Corona.
Oh, what's happening?
Well, if you don't know, Rev hit it.
It's a virus that is traveled near and far.
Oh, I get it.
Corona. We have to fight.
It's a fight.
Okay.
The virus.
Is this a twisted tune? What are we doing?
I don't know. It's the world's worst parody song ever. I just felt like the need to play it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not Bob Rivers' work.
Corona.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, if you're in Oregon, hell, if you're anywhere, stop calling 911 because you're out of toilet paper. Apparently, this is happening in Newport, Oregon. It's gotten so bad that people are calling 911 about toilet paper. They had to put a post on their Facebook, and it said, "It's hard to believe we even have to post this. Do not call 911 because you ran out of toilet paper. You will survive without our assistance." And then they decided to share some ways in the past that people have survived without toilet paper. Apparently, seamen used old rope and anchor line soaked in salt water. Ancient Romans used a sea sponge on a stick, also soaked in salt water. He says, we are a coastal town. We have an abundance of salt water available. Seashells were also used. That sounds very uncomfortable.
Wow, no wonder Sally sold them. Sally was making some toilet money.
Mayans used corn cobs.
Yeah.
Colonial Americans also used the core of a cob. That sounds like a terrible idea.
Just use a bidet, people.
Yeah, you could do that. Not everybody's got a bidet. Not everyone's all highfalutin like you, Rev.
Well, can I ask a question? All of those things do not sound like soft Charmin toilet paper.
No.
Like it's the exact opposite.
Well, you know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Or go to the store and get toilet paper. We had no problem yesterday.
Are you serious? Because there was none in Bothell.
Why are you going to Bothell to get your toilet paper?
I thought, I know Mercer Island has been out of toilet paper, the places I went. So I'm like, I'm here at Bothell. It's a bigger place. So I just, on my way home from Zulu's Board Game Cafe, I went to the QFC in Bothell. Yeah. None.
Well, maybe we just timed it out right. Sunday morning. Maybe that's when they just restocked everything at Fred Meyer and Puyallup because we got toilet paper.
Yeah, I think I got to check the Fred Meyer in Bellevue and see if, because they seem to always have everything. I always try. I forget that Fred will save me.
Now, in case you don't know what's going on here locally, of course, there was a big post by Governor Jay Inslee on Twitter, and a lot of people are up in arms. But, it sounds like things are just completely shutting down right now. According to him, he says, starting today, temporarily shut down of restaurants, bars, and entertainment recreational facilities statewide. Grocery stores and pharmacies will stay open. Restaurants, you could do takeout. We did takeout with teriyaki on Friday. It was weird, man. You walk in, like nobody eating in there, just a line of takeout bags.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody was doing that. I talked to the lady who works there, and she's like, it's like, I'm happy that people are still buying our food, but it's obviously hitting us hard because people aren't staying in there. They're not tipping. And if you're doing a takeout, maybe you're not usually the type of person that would tip for a change.
Yeah, if you understand that the servers, the people are not waiting on anybody, what are they supposed to do? A good friend of mine, she just got laid off because they closed down the bars.
Yeah, there's a lot of people being affected by that. So that's what's going on right now. We'll keep you posted. Also, retail outlets can stay open with reduced occupancy. Although my wife's telling me about all these different places like Abercrombie, Urban Outfitters, a few other places as well. Anthropology, they're all shutting down and just doing online sales right now.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go. I see Bellevue Square was really, there wasn't anything going on that much last week. I would say there might have been maybe a third of the people that I normally see. I'm going to have to check out this week if they close down all those stores.
How about the NFL? Collective bargaining agreement, all done. They figured some stuff out that's going to run through around 2030, and it sounds like we're going to have now 17 games in the season, everybody. That's right. They've agreed to expand the regular season from 16 to 17 games, and that should start as early as 2021. But it might not happen until 2022.
What?
That's the truth.
They're adding a 17th game?
Yeah. That's been the thing that's been talking about. They're going to add more to the salaries and things along those lines. Yeah. We have 17 games either starting in 2021 or 2022.
I totally misunderstood that. I thought they were going to add an extra week to sort of give them time to rest or something. But really, it's just an extra, an extra game.
The way it works is that the players have given the owners the options to do it. But that's like, it's going to happen because the owners have been pushing for this for a while. So now that they're given clearance to do it, you got to imagine they're going to be doing it.
I know why the owners have been pushing for it. Yeah, and it's just like, football, do not make the mistake that baseball has made. And I would argue also hockey and basketball. There's just too many games.
Which will mean that the minimum salaries will rise. Players will be getting a larger percentage of the revenue. Contracts still won't be guaranteed, but unless you're Ryan Tannehill, he got a big deal, and a lot of it's guaranteed.
Well, yeah, his team beat the Patriots. That's why they're like, sorry, Tom Brady. No, we'll stick with Ryan.
2 more teams will make the playoffs because of this, one from each conference. So that means 7 teams from each conference will be making it, and then only 1 team from each conference will get a bye week. But the big exciting news is...
Oh, right. Oh, that is huge news.
They're also eliminating suspensions from marijuana, and so that way Josh Gordon can come back and play for the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
Now, he's had some issues where it's a repeat offender. They said that doesn't mean that he all of a sudden just gets granted to come back in the NFL. There's still the commissioner's got to have sole discretion on whether or not to reinstate him. But that's been the joke. Once they said, hey, the CBA is approving marijuana or just being lighter on the marijuana policies, then Gordon will be able to come back.
I think it's a travesty that people have been suspended for this in the first place. Mm-hmm. And if Gordon doesn't get to come back, that is BS. I mean, if you're lightening them up, we all know
he was lightening up.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just hate the whole marijuana policy of certain places in this country. I get the NFL's got to serve every state. I get it.
And one more thing about the coronavirus and following the world of sports. They confirmed that an XFL player for the Seattle Dragons tested positive, and that is in quarantine right now. So they didn't say what player, but that was probably another part of the reason why they decided, you know what, we're shutting down the season. We'll come back next year strong. Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, I guess it makes sense. I mean, Seattle, Washington State's been hit hard, so it's not surprising it would be a Washington State professional player. 51 degrees is going to be our high today, some sun, and that's the Migs Report, and that's what's up. That is what's up. All right. Well, someone want to know what I thought about SmackDown on Friday. They did it without an audience. They broadcast from the Performance Center, and it was just, they did the full show, but it was without an audience. Very weird. It was kind of awkward at first, but then it was kind of entertaining because it's like something that you don't usually get to see. So it didn't hurt you as a viewer? Honestly, I enjoyed it more because sometimes the fans are annoy the living F out of me. They don't stop chanting. They try and hijack the show. I mean, more often than not, wrestling fans are fine, but there's sometimes that when I watch WWE on television, I'm like, oh, just shut up. You're distracting the match. Oh, so it's kind of nice. Oh, boy. Someone's getting... Vicky? Could you go online? I know that are the toilet papers, but do they have rocking chairs that we can put on a porch? Do they still have those out there? Oh, I would love a rocking chair. All right, it's happening. Really? Boy, he went from father to grandfather in 3 months since Tatum has been born.
That sounds young. I have 2 rocking chairs on my porch.
What's wrong with a rocking chair?
Yeah.
It's kind of old-timey.
You have to understand, first of all, Vicky is a grandmother in a young woman's body. You know that. She always has been. When you ask the question, what's wrong with a rocking chair, it's too late. You would never ask that in your 20s. I've enjoyed rocking chairs since I was a kid. Here we go.
Right?
Well, no. Kids, yes. But then you're not going to go out and buy... What 20-year-old person goes out and buys a rocking chair, goes, you know what? Right next to my futon, we're going to get that rocking chair. You know what I mean? Well, you can only make so many purchases in your 20s. That's what. Otherwise, you would have had rocking chairs for days.
Right? I got mine for free, but I painted them, so that's something.
Grandma in a young person's body, you are atypical. Yeah. You are not the typical woman in her 20s. You're an 80-year-old woman in that body. In Baby Tatum's room, we got a rocking chair in there. Well, again, that's for the mommy who's breastfeeding the baby, usually. Right, or dad, when dad needs to sit down for a second. Okay. You kind of chill out.
You got to rock the baby to sleep.
Well, sometimes the baby's not even in the room. So, can you...
I was trying to help Steve.
Yeah, I would like to see the picture that's sort of like MFW of not just your wife, but the baby. She's going to breastfeed, and there's Steve asleep in the designated rocky chair. Find somewhere else to say. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the MFWs on both of them. It's my chair now. Yeah, that would be so great. Just really, it would be a great picture of both of them, Baby Tatum and your wife, rolling their eyes at sleeping daddy. Someone also said UFC, no audience either. It was so strange. Full intro and everything for the fighters. It's got to be awkward for the fighters because you kind of feed off the fans when you're coming out with the intros, and then all of a sudden you're looking around, there's just nobody. But I have to ask you, when is the UFC and when is WWE? When are they going to stop altogether? I don't know. That's a good question. Come on. That is more contact than any other sport. Yeah, but I know with the WWE, I don't know. I'm sure the UFC did this as well. They fully tested everybody that's there. So, I guess, but, you still... Did they really? They gave so you're saying that... That's what they say. They say they've coronavirus tested everybody? I would imagine anyone that was there on staff. Anyone that was in that arena? Wow. I know you say you have to, but I hear that getting these tests are not easy to get. Well, when you're rich, you can get whatever you want. Look at the NBA. They've been able to test within minutes. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Well, and look, and there's no doubt about it. When it comes to managing money and being a great organization, the WWE has proven they are one of the best organizations I've ever worked with. So if the NBA could do it, I'm sure the WWE could as well. Well, yeah. Otherwise, that's just a PR nightmare. If you're quote unquote making your guys still perform and gals still perform, and then someone has it, that would be a death blow for right now. Yeah, I just for PR. I just don't, it's amazing that they're just going to take that chance, that they feel like we're 100% covered. I feel like a lot of people just go, you know what, we're not even going to take the chance, even if we feel like we've got it covered, because what if we don't? No, it's true. But, Vince McMahon, he loves his money. Oh, yeah, there is that. I keep forgetting the money aspect. Yeah. Yeah, because the UFC, the same thing. I guess, I turned down all that cash. Those are the two big
sporting, entertainment organizations that have said we're still going on.
Yeah.
Which is real, and ironically, the two organizations where you could say nobody touches each other more in close contact than those two sports.
Right. No, it's kind of weird. I mean, maybe WWE feels, okay, we're just going to stick with staying in this one spot in Orlando, and we're not going to go travel and just kind of keep it contained. But, I mean, you got to then make sure that all of your performers are, like, what are you going to have them all live in the Performance Center and stay quarantined together?
That's a really
good
question.
reality show, Vince. He needs to make that.
Yeah, because you can't. You're absolutely right. You can't test everybody every day, or does he? I mean, I heard that's
every week.
Look, I don't know. One of our radio compatriots, G. Scott, he put on Facebook. He went and got tested. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the results were. Actually, I have to go check his page, but. Because I just haven't seen it. But he talked about they had to take swabs, and he said it was one of the most painful things. I think they did it through his nose.
And you go up so high that it's like,
he said it was, he said in all the things in his life, he said this was one of the most painful things I've ever done. So, I mean, you test somebody once, but that doesn't mean, like you said, when they go home and talk that they wouldn't come in contact with somebody. So how often are you having to get I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to wrestle anymore if you're going to be basically sticking these swabs up my nose every week. Forget it. Yeah, I
saw like one indie wrestling thing, try to have some fun with it. You know how like you have these wrestling matches where it's like, the championship's on top of a pole or a championship's up in the rafters. You have to climb up to try and get it. Whoever grabs it wins. They were doing toilet paper on a pole match.
Oh, that was how fun is that? Toilet paper and Purell, probably. Yeah. Jeez, right? Really, that's the big match. On Friday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
What 7-letter word beginning with S is another name for the breastbone?
Shoulder?
No.
Shoulder, ladies and gentlemen.
The swoon.
No.
Swoon. The super duper boober.
No.
Yeah, that's what it was. The super duper boober. You were very close.
Thank you.
I think that is 7 letters, right? Sternum was what we were looking for, Steve. You want a shot at beating Steve? Hey, you know he's a super duper boober, and you can play him 206-421-ROCK. Play Beat Mix with us at 647 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. What's the difference between filing for bankruptcy and credit counseling?
Credit counseling is a useful process in some circumstances, but it does show up on your credit. In fact, from a credit scoring standpoint, credit counseling shows up just like a bankruptcy, so it's going to affect your credit as negatively as filing bankruptcy. In credit counseling, the idea is that a credit counselor works with your creditors on your behalf to try to lower interest rates or work out payment plans with your creditors to pay back your debt over time. In credit counseling, you almost always pay back 100% of the debt, sometimes at lower interest. And of course, some creditors will participate in that process and some won't. So you're usually left with kind of a mixed result with credit counseling and, of course, a high payment.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
You can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.